welcome back for some more Tomb Raider. Last time I think we finished the 15th of October build. So now we can get started on the 20th. So again, game released in early November. So we're pretty close to release at this point. But as far as I can tell, there are still several differences, and first thing I want to check is, did they fix the crouching bug? Because otherwise we won't be able to see much anyway. The most interesting stuff, there's still a bunch of stuff that has been gated behind that bug. Oh, well, Lara's head is still broken in this model.
Feel free to take a look around.
So that still hasn't been fixed. Let's just find someone I can grab so we can test that. Oh,
let's go into the gym. Those of you who've been here before may notice the new decor. What do you think? Well, let's do some exercises. Right, I think we should do them in order.
It finally works, okay. Shall I test this? Oh yeah. I mean, there's not much to see. The one thing I want to check is if the fishes work, but probably not with the trouble of redoing the puzzle again. Let's see. We're probably going to start looking at things in TR view. We're going to go through the levels in order as usual, but I don't think there's going to be much different in the manner, because again, the one thing I wanted to check is the fishes, and it's probably fine at this point. We'll see the fishes in all the levels anyway. We're still missing the exit. In Final, you have a button here that opens the gate and lets you exit. The game does not like being tapped out. Anyway, so that's okay. I don't think there's anything to see in Jungle. Temple. Couple of things in Temple I wanted to check. Right, so that was removed in the previous version. They filled this gap, finally, which was open in the previous version. Want to check if that shortcut works, so we're going to try that. Otherwise... Well, they made this, so there are trapdoors for some reason. Are there trapdoors in Final? Like actual trapdoors and not just transparent textures. It looks like they finally changed that. There are trapdoors in Final, they're not supposed to open. You have the gap up here, so okay, it is as Final now. As opposed to those textures, for example. They haven't added the holes behind the doors that are supposed to prevent soft locks. They did turn those into crawling spaces, which we did not have in the previous version. And they did cut this room. So yeah, getting closer to Final. And it looks like we have the... Okay, that's in this version that they changed it. It wasn't the case in the previous version. We now have the TR3 style spike walls, where they are double-sided, instead of just being with a thick side and spikes only on one side. So maybe we play a little bit of Temple, just to check that out. Don't think there was anything in here that was soft-locked to getting out of crawling, but thankfully now that the bug is fixed, we'll be able to get out of here now. Yeah, no, there's not much to see in this. Have they... There's still this gap available. They've plugged this gap in final, so that's not changed yet, either. Yeah, there's not much to see in this. Secrets. Kinda want to see if the secret triggers work in this, because that part is a bit more interesting. Because we have a secret 0 here. Where are the other secrets again? Well, there's this one. Yeah, secret 0 here. It still says secret 0. I'm going to load the level. If I can. Do we still have the level load? Oh my god, this is lagging so much. I wonder if it's the water animations that are lagging. Like, if I have water animation showing in tier view, is that what makes the emulator lag? Doesn't look like we have the level selector. So it doesn't show water. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have the level selector anymore. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Yeah, this is lagging me. Do I have anything open that I should shut down? Not really. Yeah, this is lagging. For some reason. Can I just maybe save state and reset the emulator? Okay, this is better. Right, so they plugged this hole that was... Oh, it was here. It's lagging when I'm on full screen, which is annoying as well. Okay, this still doesn't work. This skip works in final and doesn't work in this version. Piranhas, do not follow me here. Hey, Laser Love, what's up? Morning, morning. I think we're going to keep playing not in full screen, because full screen is lagging for some reason. So let me just center this. There we go. Okay, what did I want to check? Yeah, I wanted to check if that shortcut works. Sound. Yeah, for some reason it starts at 0. So temple ruins, that's probably... Yeah, one thing I wanted to check also before leaving is, do we have secret counts yet? Secret found none. I can go to the first secret. Also, when I'm zoomed in like this, you don't see the arrows of the chronometer behind. That looks like to be Z fighting issue though. Yeah, that's why I wanted to play full screen. It's because my jump key doesn't work properly. I'm doing that. It's probably not the best level to test secrets. You go to first level, because there's one right at the beginning. So crouching bug is fixed, at least. So that means we can start exploring our X-Tech mines. One thing I've been trying to do off stream, and that's why I actually started a bit late, is doesn't look like they put the secret in here yet, but there should be a secret further downstairs. One thing I've been trying to do off stream is see if I can just take the level files and yeah, that's why I need to be full screen. But it's lagging when I'm full screen. Graphics. Change the resolution, but that's not helping. It's still slow for some reason. The emulator is doing that. It's not a resolution issue. I'm in the settings right now, trying to see if I can make this work properly. Okay, that seems to be better. I changed a few settings, and I think we're good this time. Alright, so we should have a secret here. Let's see if it works. Yeah, no, I'm not getting the secret trigger. There's one downstairs as well. Please. Like there's a secret here as well, so... Yeah, no secret trigger, it looks like, and I'm not getting anything in the stats. So that's not fixed yet. I expect it's going to be in the next version, which is the very last one, which is probably the one they sent to... They sent to printing, actually. Going to check River Ganges in Tianview, see if they started adding the secret locations at least. Let's see, open the chase. So last time we had a secret here where the slope is. Looks like this one they did add the crawling space instead. With MP5 ammo. There's no secret trigger, but they started adding the location. We don't have this one. The secret that goes around here and has a room here, so that's still missing. There's a secret 0 down here which was already there. I will play this if there's... Yeah, that's still the bridge. I'm going to test if the bridge works with the quad. But otherwise... Okay, they moved this secret here. and yeah, the secret trigger. Last time they had it down here instead, behind this. Yeah, behind this thing. And I'm going to check if the bridges work. There's another quad here for some reason, probably for testing purposes. And we still don't have the ladder here as well, so that's something they added late, looks like. We do have the secret here, which was already there last time, I believe. And we should have the last secret down here, in that crawling space. Right. So I'm going to check that real quick. Also want to check if the quad bike has the handbrake yet or not, because that has been missing so far. Or if it hasn't, I just haven't figured out. I should resize the thing now that I'm playing full screen again. Reason I'm playing full screen, I probably mentioned that in previous stream, is because I use Alt as my jumping key, and if I'm not full screen, if I'm in windowed, well, the window is trying to use Alt for shortcuts and it starts opening menus, and that's just annoying. Right. So we've got this crawling space now. And now that crouching bug is fixed, we will be able to access quite a few other... Ooh, hello. There's a nice debugging menu here. Okay. Doesn't look like there's anything that gives me the handbrake. Unless... No, that's back. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we do have the handbrake. There's no sound for it, but we do have it. Okay. So that's probably the first build where they added it. I still haven't changed this step into a slope. So that's also missing. That one's on me. So they might have changed the controls of the quad bike. I think I directed the quad bike with the arrows last time, and now it's action and jump for forward and backward. I need to be really stopped for this to work, I think. Oh, it doesn't work if I'm against a slope. That's funny. Need to be very much on level ground, which I think the final is more tolerant with that. Which means I'm actually going to have trouble getting off this slope now. And more speed. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So it looks like they were starting to toy up with the quad bike physics at this point, quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going to have a problem if I can't use the acceleration. Yeah, you have a problem in that the quad bike actually just goes backward if you try to stop. Okay, here I can accelerate, and that works, okay. I don't think the quad bike just follows slopes when you're idle and keeps going downstairs in final. So yeah, one thing I tried to do is to take the PSX files and put them, the level files of the demo versions we have here, and put them in the PC game, and doesn't work, just refuses to load the levels. Bit of a shame. Would be nice if that worked, but there's probably different headers for the files or stuff like that. They've got to be pretty close in format, but I even tried with the improved exe, Tom Freemain. Doesn't work. Because that would have allowed me to load all the levels from the versions where crouching, getting out of crouching space doesn't work. Oh, I do need the acceleration here. Okay, so we have to do this again. And explore those parts. It looks like this version of the quad bike actually slows down significantly as soon as there's a little bit of slope. And I think they reduced that in final. Okay, they fixed the hole in this bridge. Nope. Okay, get some speed again. What I wanted to check is, did that ever work with the bridges here? No. So, of course, in final they would replace those with just stone structures, because the bridge, I don't think it ever worked with the quad bike, and rather than trying to fix the bridge, which probably was what they had in mind at this point, trying to fix them, and they never managed to. They just replaced them with solid geometry. So that doesn't work. That's probably all we need to look at for this level. But yeah, finally we have the handbrake and the acceleration. So that's something they implemented really late. And they had to slow down the max acceleration and increase the effect of slopes in order to make it worth for you to use the handbrake, because we didn't have the handbrake before, but we didn't actually need it. We had enough speed to pass normally. Right, Caves of Kalia, nothing much to see there, aside from maybe killing Tony, and get the item at the end and see if that does the level transition. It's pretty much the only thing we have to check here. Also, did they add some of the items and enemies that we are missing? It's a short level, I might as well just do it. And yeah, this path didn't work because that was getting out of crouch, I think. Or was it? Yeah, that was getting out of crouch, so that was locked before. That was a soft locked here, you had to go the other path. Oh, that's a ladder! Okay, that's not a ladder in final. So they allowed you to backtrack. At this point. Also, my mic is very far away from my mouth, sorry about that. Just noticed. So that's a ladder, that is not a ladder in final. So at this point you could backtrack. Pro streamer here forgets to put the mic in front of the mouth. Wonder if the second path is backtrackable as well. Can you explore both paths? Okay, how does this work again? Yeah, this is where you come from, the second path. I think. Yeah, you come from down here. Yeah, that's not a backtrack. Or is it? Yeah, you can jump this. Okay. Which is probably for the best because there's a block puzzle and I don't think you can do the block puzzle in reverse order. You can't really do that from the back. Maybe they plan to have secrets and that's why they wanted to let you backtrack. There's no secrets here in Final. Never put secrets here. We still have the old sprinting animation and all the animation that are around it. Will be interesting to check if we still have the monkey bar animation as well. The old one or the new one. Get back. Still have the item previews. Okay, I heard the music try to play when we got here, but it got replaced by the ambient almost immediately. So that looks like to be a bug as well. At least the ambient is looping properly now. Okay, shall I make this a bit faster? Still not giving us the grenade launcher here. Got medpack here and medpack here. No death sound for the explosions. We have a level end. Okay, so now that trigger works, finally. Adventure. Alright, so that is also working properly. Which I'm not sure it was in the previous versions. Well, we never got there because the end level triggers didn't work. So now this is working. I think the next on the default, the level menu selection is Pacific Islands. Okay, it is loading properly. Fishes work. They now put a platform here for the key, which we didn't have in the previous versions. We have an item preview for the key items. Okay. So it's interesting that they cut it in the end, because level preview seems to be working now. It's not rotating, but at least it's not showing Lara's butt. So that's progress. We don't have Lara's clothes for this, the swimsuit that she has in Pacific Island in Final. So again, that's something it looks like they added really late. We've got the platforms for the secret. I assume the secret still doesn't work, but we've got that. So getting there. The MP5 ammo over here. You have the new model for the MP5 ammo as well. it's still missing the yellow stripe. I think I'm just going to check the rest of this level in tier view. Sure. .psx. They cut this part of the room here in final. We still have the death pit here instead of the water. Okay, now we have the corridor going behind the waterfall here, which we did not have in the previous version. Previous version, the Serpent Stone was here. No, that was... Or was that the version before that? We had a version where there was only one square here where the pillar is, and not the thing going around as well. Secret room here, with the deagle ammo. Secret around here, with the grenade ammo. It's not a... It's just grenade ammo here, it's not a grenade launcher. Okay. So yeah, they're starting to add all the secret areas. We don't have the... grenade ammo here, and I think I never noticed was here until quite recently. So yeah, secret areas. We have the secret triggers, even though they don't work and they don't count for secrets, but we do have those. The fire here, yes. That was already the case in the previous version. Don't think there's much else to see here. Oh, we have the dart throwers. We didn't have the dart... They didn't exist in the previous version. They didn't exist in any other version before that. So finally they added those guys. Right. And that's probably not worth playing all of this. Do we have the crocodiles? We do not have the crocodiles in the water yet. Which, well, they also don't have the water here, so... Wasn't worth adding the crocodile probably just for this pool of water here. In final, they put water here with a couple crocodiles, so it makes more sense to also put one here. Right. Crash site. Secret area here. Wasn't there previous level, previous version of this. Still missing the grenades on the platform here. Okay, they filled this gap here, so now we have the geometry of the final game. Do we have leaves on the wing here? I don't remember that. Although they finally raised those platforms so you can properly jump above this. So we're pretty close to final. Let me check the... Don't remember having this texture in final. Yeah, we do have it. Just never noticed. Right. Okay, they fixed the textures here as well, which seem to be much closer to final than they were in the previous version. We have the rope here, which was missing last time. And it looks like now we have the final version of this puzzle as well. With all the raptors everywhere. Okay, a secret up here. So they have added that as well. Anything else? T-Rex. Okay, T-Rex is still missing the puzzles. We don't have the corridor that goes around here. It's funny that there's flares in corners for some reason. This passage has... The passage we had here has been blocked. We had a shortcut here, which I'm pretty sure was intended, where this opening here is. Pretty much sure what it was intended to let you go around the T-Rex. But they plugged that at some point, and it looks like that point is now. Not sure why they did that. There's a secret up here as well. Not sure why they did that, but they did. Maybe I play this and check if the rocket launcher works, because I don't think I tested it in a previous version, but I did test it the first time it was available and it didn't work. You couldn't interact with it, you just went through it. And one thing I want to check is also if the mercenaries drop ammo or not. It doesn't look like they do. Do they give you the MP5 when you enter this area? No, it's still missing at this point. Give you the MP5 right here in final. Okay, let's check a couple things in this level. Right, the map is still on the floor here. Instead of being directly in your inventory, we still have but for this one. Okay, now you can just select the map and look closely. Well, for what it's worth. Because good luck figuring out what this is supposed to say, but yeah. Yeah, Lara's Butt is basically, in terms of what the renderer does, in the order in which it loads the item, Lara is the first thing it tries to load in memory, and the middle, it's made in several parts. You have the arms, you have the head, etc. And the center of the model is Lara's butt. So that's basically model number 1, or model number 0 in memory. And what I've noticed is when you pick up an item and it tries to give you the preview on bottom right, if it's not modeled properly, and that's the case for most items, for most key items, it just loads model number 1, default model, which happens to be Lara's butt. So that's a little funny. And probably why at some point they decided to give up on the item preview feature until TR4. We might see that in other items later on. It worked for the key earlier in the previous level, so they were trying to fix that, but I guess at some point they decided there was too much work to do it on all the items. Okay, no secret trigger is not working. Not going to pick up all the items. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do here. Am I going to die? Yep. And yeah, that feature, I know, I kind of guess that's how the game works instead of that feature. Because in TR View as well, the software I use to load the levels and go around the levels, for the triggers you now have black arrows, and in previous versions, same thing, there was no models for the triggers, so it was loading level, what I assume is model 0 and Lara's butt. So you had a bunch of Lara's butt all around the level, displaying where the triggers are supposed to be. Same idea. Right, so now they've raised the ground here, which absolutely does nothing to change this shortcut, which existed before they raised the ground, and exists in final. So we don't have the MP5 here. We should have we have a mercenary here in final as well, which is also missing. You guys attack me now. I think they're trying to attack me. Doesn't really work though. Right. Still missing the water here as well. That's something... It's interesting because it feels like there was supposed to be water here. And they removed it. I mentioned that in other streams. That there was supposed to be water here early on. And they removed it. Because you can still see the water under here. They just like plugged it. Put ground over it and never deleted this part under it. And in final, they put the water back. And you have this instead. A bit deeper as well as what you see here. But that's the idea. So at some point they decided to put that back. Not sure why they removed it. I didn't see the version where it was here before they removed it. So that was probably very early on in the building process. Right, so I'm just going to gather both keys and see if the rocket launcher works. See, the key works. Preview on the bottom right works this time. Right, so since there's no corridor for exiting, I can just do this. And ignore all those guys. So now we have platforms to jump above that slope properly. Good AI, by the way. Yeah, they don't drop MP5 ammo. Oh, they made this transparent. This was like a solid texture last time. So it's transparent with current. And just gets you down there. I just saved instead of loading. Good job, me. Not the first time, not going to be the last time. Alright, let's do this again. Nope. Oh, don't have the... I still don't know exactly what gives Lara's all the weapons, where the trigger that we have in the prototypes work. How this is supposed to work. But at some point, after level start, they give me all weapons. This is solid, apparently. Just passing. Okay, now I have the weapons. Yeah, the running animation... Oh, no. The opening is here. Did I not see it properly earlier? T-Rex, you're in the way. No, the opening is not here. What did I see? I thought I saw something. Anyway. Yeah, sprinting animation is different. It's been like that since the early prototypes. So it hasn't changed yet. Wait. The raptors attack each other, what? Excuse you? Did you see that? Okay, I don't think that's in final. Okay. So that's why the raptor was in the attacking animation earlier. I was wondering about that. Okay. Raptors attack each other. I don't think that's in final. The monkey barring is also different. Monkey bar animation. Kill that dude, but that's fine. There's not a lot of dude in this version anyway. There's like another one here. That's the date on which it's been compiled, yes. So the game is released on the 5th of November. And this is the 20th of October, so we're like 2 weeks, bit more than 2 weeks before release. This is the date on which this is the date of the files on the CD. It doesn't mean that this is necessarily when they stopped making this version. Like some of the levels may be older than that, but that's pretty much a date cap, I assume. This platform here did not exist in the previous version. It was a slope, and in order to climb where I was, you have to climb on this branch instead. You have to climb up this branch. This branch is still present in final as well. And you had to jump here. And the fact that this is a triangle platform doesn't make it easier, but you can do that. Yeah, compile. I assume basically every week or every few days, they just take all the levels at the state they are currently and burn them on a CD and send them to the publisher to show progress. Which I assume is what we're playing right now. And sometimes they send them to journalists as well, so they can start preparing the articles and all that. So I assume some of them come from journalists that got early versions so they can prepare their articles. And some of them are just stuff they send to the publishers or testers. Because I assume they were starting... Well, usually at that stage, and I think that was the case for Tomb Raider, the testers were actually in-house by the publisher and not the developer. So they would send versions to the publisher, and part of the reason they do that is for testing purposes. I think. Not sure if that was the case for Core Design, and in fact that always was the case for Core Design. Well, good job. I'll have to do that again, I guess. Didn't save anything. Anyway, attempt number 3, because I'm good at video games. And I save very often. Right, so there's a couple levels now that getting out of crawling space works, as it didn't in all the previous versions. We should be able to play some of the levels we couldn't before. We couldn't go very far. One of those is RX Tech Mines, because you have to get out of crawling space like right at the beginning. Another one is Lootsgate, because all the museum section, you have to, at the first puzzle of the museum section, you need to get out of a crawling space after triggering a flip map. So we couldn't do that either. There's probably other... Yeah, the raptors kill each other. This is so fucking weird. I don't think I've noticed the raptors attacking each other in the previous versions. So that's something they fucked up in this one? Question mark. Or maybe they were testing out in this version? I still don't have the weapons. For some reason. I'm not sure what triggers the weapon swap here. Now, please. There we go. I'm not killing the raptors with pistols, because that's going to take forever. So we're just going to run past this guy. Pew 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 pew. Alright, so we can go up here, where there's a secret. Can I cut the rope from here? No, I think I have to kill this guy. Tomb Raider 6, I have no idea. I didn't check. I know there's a few of there's a couple for Tomb Raider 4. I don't remember if I saw anything for Tomb Raider 5. There is a lot of them for Tomb Raider 1. Tomb Raider 1 is very interesting because you've got very early builds, and you've also got builds on all three platforms, because as opposed to Tomb Raider 2, 3, 4, 5, where the PlayStation was the main version, Tomb Raider 1, they were building all three in parallel. There was no main version. PC, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn were all parallel versions. So for Tomb Raider 3, for example, all the builds I have are PSX. There's one PC demo version, and I've got like 5 or 6 PSX ones. Well, this is going to take a bit. Ah, no, I have the weapons now. There we go. Let's go. You can see my ammo goes back to 1000 every kill, maybe? Oh, is it a kill that gives me the weapons? No, I don't think so. It's weird. Maybe pressing a combination of keys give me the weapons. Do they work on all... Yeah, in Tomb Raider 1 they were working on all three versions at the same time. They were compiling for all three platforms at the same time. It wasn't a bundle with all three versions that I have on the website where I get those versions, but I add regularly, like there's like 10 or 12 different versions, and it's pretty well spread out between the three platforms. The website is called Hidden Palace if you want to check. Is it? Did I miss you? There we go. You can download them and then you can just run them into an emulator. It's a wiki-style website. So there's a bunch of prototypes and demos for all the games of this era. There's not just Tomb Raider. But yeah, that's where I found all my demos. Usually they also have a photo of the disc it came through. They don't really tell you where the disc comes from, but you get a photo with the CDR that they burned for this, which is usually just a regular commercial CDR with something written with a marker on it, as you would expect for such a prototype. Alright, I've got both keys. And now we can test if the rocket launcher works. Not going to do the whole puzzle with the monkey bars. We went pretty far along that puzzle a few versions ago.
No.
Wrong one, I guess. Yes, no. There we go. And yeah, you've got versions of Tomb Raider 1 that date back to... Like, the very first prototype is really like a tech demo, where you had Lara, like, the enemies did not work. It was a level that you don't see later on. It's just a test geometry for the lighting, for Lara's animations. And Lara had the sunglasses at this point. She had the ponytail as well. Didn't quite work properly, but it was early version of the ponytail they decided to cut because it was not working properly at this time. And she could target multiple enemies, something they never put back in classic Tomb Raider. With both pistols, she could target multiple enemies. So that was really a tech demo. That was a lot of fun. And some of the early version of... yeah, still doesn't work. Early versions of Tomb Raider 1 also have pistol ammo as a proper mechanic. Which they also removed. But it explained a few places that feel empty in Final Tomb Raider are actually places that had... Okay, they fixed that. That broke from bazooka ammo last time. Okay, so I can finish the level. And the bazooka doesn't work, and we don't have the infinite wave of raptors here. Yeah, there's a few places in Tomb Raider 1 that feel empty, but actually were supposed to have pickups and ammo. And they just made the pistol infinite ammo, they removed those pickups, and those areas just remained. Malibu Gorge, anything I want to test? Yeah, I want to test if the kayak works properly this time. All the previous versions, you could not actually go all the way to where you're supposed to disembark the kayak, because the kayak could not go through the transition between transparent water and rapids. But just bouncing out. So you were self-locked. Let's see if that's fixed now. Wait a minute. What? Why? There's a platform here. Okay, so that's interesting. And weird. Tell you. Rapids.psx. Okay, so... I might actually for this, because I did download Tomb Raider 3 Classic. can find it again. I'm going to load the retail Tomb Raider version and not the remaster, because I think that's something they fixed in the remaster. Let's see, open data, rapids. Can you load the thing, please? It refuses to load. Okay, that's interesting. What are you doing? Okay, let me try this differently then. Okay, we're going to load the remaster one. Or is it just... Oh, I think my TileView is frozen. Let's try this again. Right. Okay, so this is the remastered version. We are looking here at this platform. So in previous versions of this, you had a triangle platform here. They removed it at some point. It looks like they added it back in as a proper platform. It doesn't exist in Final. And in the not the remaster but the regular 1998 retail version, this square was actually a safe square. It did not kill you when you step on it. And I know that because the speedruns use that to just jump on this square and then climb here and proceed when they do all secrets. So I'm not sure what they were trying to do here, but it looks like they were toying around with the idea of having a safe platform here or not. At some point they removed it, at some point they put it back, and then they removed it again. And they apparently forgot to put a death trigger back on there again. And it is fixed in the remaster, which is what we're seeing here. So that's why you have the purple paste here. That's because there is a proper current trigger here, which is killing you. But yeah. Not sure what they were toying around with this thing, but... we're also missing the area under this that we have in Final. Here. This area here. With a save crystal on the button. Still doesn't exist in this version. So that's also something they added quite late. Like, again, we'll bit more than a couple of weeks before Final release, and you have to remember this is 1998, so you can't just put the thing on download on Steam when you're releasing something like that. You have to send the final build to the people that are going to print to burn all the CDs and send them to the retailers. So you're probably talking at least a week before release, at minimum, to get the CDs out. Especially since you have to send them internationally. European version was available first, I believe. And the US like a day after that. Something like that, so yeah. Which means that in practice they can't have more than a week and a half of dev left after this version we're playing. Keeping in mind that there's not necessarily all the most advanced levels of that were available at the time, just something that was playable and compiled for testing. But yeah, we're really close to release at this point, and there's still a few things that just don't exist at all. Like I said, this is the first build that actually has the handbrake for the quad bike. And for the longest time, getting out of crouching didn't work. So you can imagine the rush of getting everything to work before release. Did I not press the button? Oh, wait, wrong place. There you go. Okay, we still don't have any fall damage. It's been the case for a while. Otherwise, it doesn't look like the physics of the kayak are any different than the previous versions. I still can't grab this thing. I've tried a few times. Every time I play this, I can't get lined up with the crystal for some reason. It looks like the way she's trying to paddle forward is slower than final. But I feel like it's compensated by the fact that she goes further when she paddles. So overall, it's kind of the same. There's still a whole lot of slopes here on the side that they removed in final, probably because it was too easy to park the kayak on those slopes, which you can still do in final. There's still a couple of places where you can, and the speedrun does that. And I've done this in playing those demos as well, because it allowed me to go in places you couldn't really go otherwise. Missing all the traps in this section still. So yeah, apparently there was a dev that said that they had the hardest time getting the kayak to work properly. And yeah, I can believe it. As you can see, I'm bouncing on things that I shouldn't be bouncing on. There's still this column here that doesn't exist in final, and the trapdoor. And I'm supposed to go this way, I think. We're missing the piranhas as well. They put piranhas here to make sure that it was well conveyed to the player that this is not where they're supposed to stop. Okay, you still can't go here. Doesn't work. We're bouncing less hard than we did in the previous version, so they were trying to fix this. Feel like it's a bit better than before, but still refuses to go up here. Going to try going backward, because I think we go faster going backwards. Let's try. Oh, no, she's still bouncing. Well, we're still soft lock then. Just going to double check in TimeView if there's anything interesting. Rapids.psx. Yeah, I already had the thing loaded. So this is a secret. We got the secret triggers here. We've got the secret here. At some point this was a ladder and it didn't work, so they moved it into a trapdoor. So this now works. For some reason there's two secret triggers here, which is probably a mistake. What else? So this... There's a secret here. Yeah, there's a secret trigger entering here. So that's okay. We're missing the ammo here. We're missing the stuff here. Also, missing a texture at the end of this corridor. What else? Oh yeah, they have icicles here. Falling stalactites. Which They might still have that in final. So missing all the traps here. In final, this thing, well, is visible here, but they also have it copied in another room outside of the map for the camera angle, the animation, when you press the switch. They move the camera somewhere else to show you the thing turning, which I'm not sure why they do that, but it's not there in final because it's somewhere around here on the final map. You can see that, like, if I can see it again. Yeah, I got the thing here, and am I talking shit? Pretty sure. No, it's all the way over here. There you go. For some reason, they have it here for the animation. Not sure why they do that. There's got to be optimizing reasons for this. Maybe they can control the lighting better. I don't know. And yeah, you've got this pillar here. For some reason. Which also disappears when you flip map. When this thing is raised. Not sure what the deal is with that. This pillar does not exist in final. We're also missing the fire traps. And yeah. That's about it. We're missing the crocodiles down there as well. Right. That's all for this level. Let me load the next one, see if it's worth exploring or not. Triboss. Right, this is still the old version, it looks like. They did add the tribesmen, though. With the darts, which we did not have before. I'm going to check if they work properly, as in, do they poison you? There is a flip map. That's interesting. But the flip map does not actually prevent you from going back up here. Okay. In the previous version of this, like, when you play this normally in final, you go up here, you go across here, and when you get to this room, they actually make this corridor collapse. You've got a little earthquake and this corridor collapse. That's a flip map. Let me show you real quick. Stop the R2. Textures are different. We don't have that yet. So you go up here, across the stairs, you go down here, and you go... When you go on this slope, you have an earthquake trigger, and then a flip map. So what happens is... this corridor collapses. And the point is, they don't want you to be able to come back to this room. Because if you do, and this is already gone down, then you're soft-locked because you can't climb back up here. In this version, they prevent the softlock by not having the slope. Which is interesting because in previous versions, they did prevent you from climbing back. And the way they prevented the softlock, and I'm going to load the older map here, the way they prevented the softlock is by completely removing the corridor here, putting a wall here, after the flip map. So once you've gone back through the spike wall and the giant boulders and you come back here, this is blocked. So you can't go back up here and softlock yourself. Or just end up in this room and having nothing to do here because, well, there's nothing to do here. So basically... they decided there was no reason to prevent you from going back on the stairs at this point. In this version. So the flip map... I don't have the right one loaded. Yep. Get back here. So here the flip map does not prevent you from going back upstairs. Since we don't have a slope here, that's fine.
they probably decided they wanted to keep this corridor because now we have the dart thrower guys. And because of the dart thrower guys, they wanted those guys to still exist. If you didn't kill them, if you ran past them and went all the way around, they wanted these guys to still be live there. I think that's the reasoning here. And of course in final they want you to be able to come back here because there's a secret here that is only available after the flip map. So yeah, that eventually morphed into this. Also we now have properly the double-sided block. Double-sided spike wall, and we have the proper texture, so we are closer to final here. Let's see also if the boulders work, because only one of those two worked properly last time. There was one that just fell vertically and stayed stuck at the beginning. So we might as well play this. Temple of Puna. Oh, that's interesting. You start on the slope. In final, you start at the beginning, at the bottom of the slope. You don't start sloping down. Do those guys poison you? Okay. I think their problem is they can't actually aim down. So the darts are going above me. If they do hit me, they do poison me. Okay. It's a bit of an issue here. Oh, they are aiming a bit down, but they're completely missing the mark. The darts are definitely going down, but not enough, so the aiming is completely off. This is the first version where we actually have those guys that did not exist in all the previous versions. So interestingly, that's something they added pretty late. One of those drops a med pack, doesn't they? Or is it the ones that spawn when you come back later? Hello. Doesn't look like they have a melee. Oh, I was going to say it doesn't look like they have a melee, and he died just as he was trying to perform one. So, yeah, they do. Oh, hello. Don't think this guy exists in final. Yeah, he does have a melee. I'm trying to do it. We still have the old buttons here. Oh, I am poisoned. Let me fix that real quick. And yeah, the texture work is also... So, has been like that for a while. It's not final yet. Clearly. Music trigger working properly. There's also an area where you get a flip map, but you can't see it's a flip map because the texture changes. Or it did in the previous versions. Okay, so both boulder work. Although there was MP5 ammo that I missed on the ground here, which I don't think is there in final. Okay, we should have a couple more goons spawning here. And there's also more on the stairs, which is why they wanted to keep the stairs and not block them. Makes a lot of sense. Right. One of those drop a med pack. Yep. Right, so at this point, you can climb back up here. And I do wonder, like, of course in final you have the secret up here, which we do not have at all at this point. I do wonder if the fact that they let you backtrack here is what led to them trying to do the... Oh, I'm going to die. The double-sided spike wall. Because as a result you can just fall back on where the spike wall is. And just falling on the back of the old Tomb Raider 2 style wall would be a bit weird. I'm pretty sure you would pass through it as well. Yeah. Alright, so that makes sense. And I just killed myself. Good job. Okay, let's see if the boss works. Last time it did work. It did perform properly. It had the correct attacks and it did spawn the creatures. But it also didn't have a lot of health and it died really quickly. It only managed to spawn one enemy before dying. So let's see if they increase the health pool this time. Also, let's see if after killing him we have the level transition or not. Okay, seems to be working pretty much as expected. Spawns this guy. Okay, I'm going to switch to the Deagle. The shield effect works just fine. Can you please... There we go. Okay, now he's dead. Missing a med pack here as well. Level transition works. Okay. So I think that boss fight is final. Aside from the missing med pack. And we have the section trigger. I can reload into India. Why? Because also it says London, because you're not supposed to see India at this point. I can reload into India. Why? Because I started from the level selected, so I haven't played India yet. Does that work? It does. Okay, so if you start from anywhere else, you can then reload into India. Well, load, because you haven't played through that yet if you started from the level selector. That's a bit funny. Doesn't really change anything, because, well, I am playing things out of order, so it makes a lot of sense. What's next? Next is London on the list. Right? Thames Wharf. what do I want to check here? I'm just going to check this through TRView, I think. Roofs.psx. Right. Okay, so it looks like they fixed this thing with the ropes and all that, which didn't properly work last time. I couldn't play this as intended because I couldn't get out of the crawling space here. I don't know if I want to bother playing this as intended again. What else? This thing works as intended. We got it to work last time. So this works. What didn't work was this area because the monkey bar was buggy and did not let me go all the way up here. So as a result, in order to finish the level, I had to jump into this trapdoor before the water was raised, and as a result... So what's this? I don't think we have those harpoons in final. Anyway, and as a result, when you go to this chapel here, chapel-like room, the water is down instead of being up like this, and so you get soft-locked. For some reason. And so I couldn't finish. Don't think I'm going to bother replaying this. The way this works in final is you can't actually do this jump from here to here. Because this is actually further down. The room is bigger. And we don't have the spikes here because those spikes are not required to prevent you from just falling down there and dying. So I assume we're going to have the same problem as long as this room isn't fixed. To be like it is in final. What else? Last time and in previous version as well, we had the key here instead of being in the secret. This time they have implemented the secret. Yeah, the key's here. And we have the moving block, which is actually the same push block you have further down in the level, instead of being properly textured, but the idea is there. They haven't removed this back passage yet, if you look at the one in final. This back passage does not exist. Not sure why they decided to remove that, but yeah, they did. At some point. Right. Don't think there's much else to see. Oh, there is else to see. We have this secret that did not exist in the previous version. As well as the shotgun ammo here. Right. This is walled off in final, partially. Yeah. This is partially walled off. Except they didn't wall off. Hey Rocksteral, what's up? Morning, morning. Except they didn't wall off this one, so you can still use that to skip by jumping on top of the building. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to bother playing this. But yeah, you have the key and the... Okay, so that's a bit interesting. In the version we're playing, instead of the med pack here, you have a rocket, and the secret is on the square where the key is. Can I check the depths? No, I cannot. Yeah, that helps a little. And in this version, the secret is on the tile where the med pack is in final, and they had a rocket there. Here. The trigger is here instead of being here. So yeah, they were toying around with that idea. All Hallows is still its own level in the list at the same place. We should be able to finish. We should be able to finish All Hallows as intended now that the crouching bug is fixed. It should be fairly close to final. I do wonder how it ends though. Could check in tier view, but let's see if we can play this as intended. Where do we start this? We start this here. Nope. There's a bunch of models around the scaffolding that we don't have in final. Let me get a bit closer. No, I don't edit the maps. Those are from the... Those are early versions of the map, pre-release version. I don't do map editing, but I have a map viewer, which lets me look at the level data and compare it with final, which is pretty fun. But I don't do map editing. Would actually probably help me if I could, because I could be... Maybe I would be able to load all the versions of this, recompile them for the modern versions. Things like that. So yeah, you have those models here. Can barely see them. Oops. Can I disable bounds? Yeah, those things here. I don't think we have them in final. St. Paul tier 2. If I can get a bit closer. Yeah, they don't exist here. If I remove bounds, there we go. This is pretty much the same angle here. And yeah, those little grey model here don't exist. Do they have collision? Barely. So yeah, they do have collision, so maybe that's why they removed them. No safety. The barriers are there, but those little grey pillar at the angle of the barriers have been removed at some point. There's basically two reasons they would have done that. One is poly count. Basically remove them so the game lags less. And the second one is collision. They would fuck up with the gameplay. So they removed them. What do we have here? Do we have a shimmy? No. Can I cannot... Oh, I should be able to jump here. I'm trying to remember. Don't play this level very often because that ended up being the bonus level in final release. Can I just jump from here to here? That would be simpler. There should be a monkey bar, I think. So you have to get all secrets to get this level, but originally, and in all those versions I've played, it was part of the normal level flow. As in, it was going after Thames Wharf and before Aldwych. Right, so do this, go above this barrier. Oh, bats. Also, the bats are flying sideways. Because good game. Right, so previous versions you had a key here. Okay, you still have the key. That key opens up a secret later. Vault key. They moved the key elsewhere in final because the place where you have that secret in the version I'm playing and the previous one as well is going to be where they finish the level. The way they built it in final. Okay, I need to climb back up. Yeah, already checked what the name of the key was. Right, so we want to end up on this broken tile in order to enter the church proper. And in order to do that, we have to go on this monkey bar. Starting from... not sure where. We go up here, I think? I don't remember what's the intended way to do that. Because the not intended way is you can pretty much force your way across this passage, I'm pretty sure. Like do something like this. If she wants to. Check that again. Pretty sure it's doable. Maybe from this side. Anyway. Let's see if we can do this as expected. This platform doesn't give me anything, I don't think. So I think we jump back on this. Nope. And then, okay, then I can just jump here. I thought that was going to be too high. Then I jump on the next platform. I should be able to monkey bar my way. Oh, they fixed the monkey bar animation, by the way. There was a different animation in the previous version, so this is the final one, I believe. That's going to kill me. Probably. Yeah, that does. They do give you a med pack, though. Ideally, you'd want the med pack before the force damage and not after, but better than nothing. Right. Previous time I played this, I could jump from where I am right now to this platform, because the slope above it did not work. This is a skip. We can't do that anymore, clearly. Where am I intended to go instead? Do I just jump on this slope? Maybe. So there's a music trigger. And does that give me anything? Okay. I'm not sure that's the intended way to do that. I don't remember how it works in final. At some point this was breakable as well. And you could just like jump over here. I'm not quite sure what the intended way to go down is. But it might be this. Also, I feel like there probably should be all the candles lit up here. I feel like that would really tax the engine though. That's a lot of flames to have running around at the same time. Okay, so let's just go with this, because this works. Right. What's next? Because that's fairly complicated level. Can go downstairs, but I don't think downstairs gives us anything. can jump here. Right. Okay, I think we... Oh. Did the light model push me away? I think it did. Yeah. So this is actually the model, and it actually has collision. Which is funny, and probably not intended. Good game. Right, so we will want to raise this trapdoor at some point, which has the wrong texture. But that comes later. We have a switch here. Trapdoor, okay. I cannot jump back from here to this platform because there's barriers, so I have to go all the way around again. What does that platform give me? Okay, it leads me back here. That works. Which leads me back to where we opened the trapdoor. Hopefully it wasn't timed. Didn't check. I assume it wasn't. Okay, we opened this one. Should have a ladder here. No, we do not. Okay, we have... Oh. That's a level transition. Okay, so this can be a very short level, the way this is built right now. But if you want to go get the secret, you have to go quite outside of the beaten path. And this should load into Aldwych. We're going to reload, we're going to go get the secret. But yeah, I did remember noticing in the map of the previous versions that this was where... Yeah, this looks like the same version as the previous one. Okay, let's reload. We'll explore Aldwych later. Right. So the access to the secret is going to be this trapdoor down here. In order to get this, I want to go back downstairs and access this shimmy down here. Can I just do that? Yes. Alright. And from here I should be able to just jump this. Right. So I think this is as it is in Final. We have a switch here, barely visible. Opens the door downstairs. Can I jump on something from here? That might be faster than shimming back again. Not really. So I think we're at a point where they didn't really know what to do with this level, which is why it ends this early. And let me tell you, this level has seen quite a few changes. And a bunch of its parts ended up in the other London levels. Covered that quite extensively in the other streams, but this level, London in general, they really didn't know what they were trying to do. So a bunch of parts from different levels ended up being spread around. And they ended up putting this level we're playing right now as a bonus level instead, with a different ending. Right. Where do we start climbing? Just here, I think. Yeah, there's a platform here which I barely see. There we go. So we go back where the first switch was. Still have the key, right? Yeah. Now, please. This is where you save. So the reason there's a hole here is this actually led to something else at some point. There also was the entry was actually up here with a slope going downstairs, and you started here at some point in development. Again, this has seen quite a few iterations with different ideas. Okay, should be able to grab. There we go. Now we can pass this. We can get to the zip line. Going to save. And so if you let yourself go all the way to the zip line, and that's why there's a danger music, you end on this slope, which just leads you to your death. Same as the final. There is a death trigger. I start dying before hitting the ground, which was not the case in the previous version I played of this. There was actually a floor, an invisible floor, that I could survive. So we need to stop here before the slope, and then you just drop on this, I think. How do you do that? Something like this? Yeah. Crawling space. And then this bookshelf rotates. Right. Right, so this fire starts, and all those pillars in the middle are also going to start fire as we progress here. And the point is, I cannot drop on the final block because it's on fire. Also, it looks like I didn't go fast enough. Might want to long jump this. There is actually a hole with water before the final platform currently on fire. Okay, I didn't time it. Camera does not help. Might have to heal just to survive this. Yeah, I need... It looks like I'm supposed to catch fire, which I'm pretty sure they don't do it like that in Final. And here I fall in water. Right. So why is there an alarm here? No idea. We get this button. Which opens this trapdoor that will lead us to the secret. Right, so that leads back to where the fire is, so I'm not going to go here. There's a platform here as well, which apparently gives us a med pack. Don't think that was there in previous version. Not sure that's there in Final either. And this, interestingly enough, this square I'm standing on right now used to be on trampoline, like Tomb Raider 2 in Tibet. And there was trampolines in Lutz Gate as well, which they removed. Not sure if the final Tomb Raider 3 engine still supports trampoline at all, but clearly they did at this point. This trapdoor is going to fall, right? Yeah, and fall me into the fire. Right, so we end up here, and we should be able to access the trapdoor immediately. Right here. Right. So this little corner with the water and the algae is a remnant of where the chapel used to be. The chapel we saw in the previous level. So again, that's another example of parts that have been recycled between levels. If we look at this level here, this chapel area, actually the part where I am with the water and the algae was like right here, compared to where the chapel was in the level I'm playing. You fell down here and the algae was here and you had access to this, what used to be this room. So that's all that's left of that idea. So you end up here, and you can use the key over here. And this is supposed to be a secret. In the final version of this, the bonus level version of this, this is where you progress. There is this hole with water here, which leads to the end of the level. Anything else here? No. So where does that lead? Okay, so we still have this underwater section with the mummies. Well, the dead guys. Which is supposed to be an intro to... Well, this is supposed to be the victims of Sophia, of her experiment. So that's supposed to be an intro you have of those guys before you start facing them in Aldwych. I think that's the idea. But again, since this is now out of order in Final, that doesn't quite work, but yeah. Okay, so we have an exit here. Please don't push me into the fire. So far this is like final. And there's nothing else, actually. So maybe they were planning to put a secret here? I don't know, because that looks to be a dead end. Let me check that in TRView. Synthpole.psx. Right, we are done here. Yeah, that looks to be a dead end. If I open final, this leads to the final room. We have the same section here. Also, there's an opening here I didn't check. I want to see if I can go there. This used to, in another version of this actually used to connect to the main room here. This was located differently, and this, like, you would start here. You would actually start here, go down here, you would open this, and you would end up at the bottom of this room in a previous version of this level. Again, very different ideas at very different times. Yeah, it looks like this leads to nothing in the version I'm playing, which is a bit weird. They put a crystal in this corner in final. And yeah, in final, you have the level end trigger here, and you have the, what I assume is the real tomb of Slimpole, as opposed to the fake tomb you have right here. I think that's the idea of this now standalone level in final. Couple of things I haven't explored yet. We have a return path, which should exist in this version as well. Once you're downstairs, we should have a return path going here. Let me see if that return path works. It should. And yeah, we should have the opening here. It's locked. There's no door here. That's just transparent textures. So you can't do anything with that. But again, a remnant of that previous idea, which actually stays all the way to the final, to the retail version. Right, so in order to get... there's a trapdoor down here. That links to something else. So this one is lit up. There's nothing in here, but that's a hint that you can go through this one. And there's going to be traps also. I can't see shit. And this should open up our return path. There we go. And this should lead me up here. Which should lead me to the bottom of the chapel. Can't see shit, Captain. I'm going to need another flare. Did I bug the flare? That's more like it. I actually can't jump because there's a trapdoor that prevents me from going up here. Okay, I can do it like that. Right, and you end up back down here. Don't remember what this door leads to. Where does that link back to? Because we are here. Oh no, this is... okay, there's actually two doors. It's not a trapdoor, there's nothing behind this. Well, there is, but it's just intersecting. So those two doors open at the same time. It's just this one open up against this wall and this one open up against this wall. Okay. And so at this point you can just finish the level by going down here and going down this slope. And for some reason you also have two end level triggers. There's one at the bottom and there's one right here. So of course you would never be able to hit this one. Right. All Hallows. Still not... they were still not sure what they were going to do with that, clearly. The fact that you can end the level this early, which was already the case in the previous version, means that they were not sure where they were going to start and end this. And again, that you can also see that in Aldwych, which I'm going to load right now. Because they also weren't sure how to actually start the level. Right now you start the level falling down here, which is how you will end this in final as well. How you would start this level in the retail version as well. But you have this opening they added in the previous version, which we still have here, which looks like it might be where you start falling down the slope from the previous level. Right now it just doesn't lead to anywhere. But that seems to be the idea. Also this, I'm not sure what they were trying to do with this. This slope also existed in a previous version. Did not exist before. There's a proper door here. And it's just a dead end with a shotgun in final. So they recycled it at that, but it's... not sure what they were trying to do with that. Right, pretty much the only thing I want to test in this is whether the trains work, because so far the trains spawned but never actually killed you, never actually moved and killed you. And they did add what was missing last time, a button to reset the train in this secret. Seems to be mostly... we were already pretty close to final otherwise, so this seems to be pretty much complete. We're missing the secret up here. We're missing the secret here. Same as the previous version. Did they add the Uzi in the red room? That would be here. Yes, they've added the Uzis in the red room. I don't think they were there in the previous version, so that's something new. I'm just going to check if the trains work. Okay, the sounds are wrong. They fixed the stairs. They're now the same as they are in final, rather than the weird kid bash they tried to do with the rotating stairs in the previous versions. We still have those modeled neon lamps here, which they remove in final as well, replaced with a flat texture. Yeah, the sounds are wrong for some reason. Not the first level where I see that happen in the demos. Fire here. They moved the fire. It was right at the entrance here before. Also, it's not started. Yeah, some of the sounds are just not correctly indexed, so they're playing at the wrong time. Yeah. Yep, trains... The trains work, but they push you in the wrong direction. Otherwise, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Finally, they have a version where it kind of works. You have to imagine the rush trying to get all those missing features to work in the last couple weeks. Like, wait, shit, we need to release this. We're still missing this, 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 and this. That's pretty much all I wanted to check here. Yes, there was one more thing I wanted to check in this level. In the Freemason area. If I can find it. Down here. Yeah, they added the corridor in the middle. That's the one thing that was missing in this area. Also, we have the doggos that were missing. And we still have a trap here. Which is not a trap in Final. I just noticed it has the Tomb Raider 1 / Tomb Raider 2 style spikes. Don't think we see those anywhere in Final Tomb Raider 3. We should have normal... No, we do. Do we? No, we... Yeah, we have golden spikes here in Final. This is just a breakable tile with nothing here in Final. They removed that trap we have here in Final. Right. Next level, Lutz Gate. That's going to be interesting. Now that we can actually go into the museum. Right. Still the wrong texture on the door here. We might have been missing the bridge in the middle here in the previous versions. There was at some point a block puzzle here to access this part. Right, so we have already seen in the previous version that they added this model here, those slopes and barbed wire, to prevent you from skipping by going in this area, which you can still do, and you can still do in Final, but they at least tried. They at least tried. You get bonus points for participating. We can now do this properly because we can get out of crouching areas. Which is supposed to be a secret, and in many places where they haven't decided what the secrets would look like, they just put flares as the default item. Which seems to be the case here. How do I climb back up here? I think there's like a big med pack and some ammo here in Final. Climb here. I think there's a ladder here in Final. Right. Oh. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to climb back here. Get up here, and this gets us on bottom of the ladder area, which is where you used to have... Oh, hello. Maybe that's not where I should have climbed. Where you used to have jump pads, trampolines. Now it looks like they've changed it to what it looks like in final, which is just a long ladder, which is completely boring. But yeah. They've already done long ladder in Tomb Raider 2, they really didn't need to do that in Tomb Raider 3. Even without the trampolines, because they removed it in the previous version, you still had you could just jump it normally, and it was still more interesting than just climbing a ladder for 5 minutes. There is a secret somewhere here, that might be behind here. If I do this... Oh. A bit further down. Oh. Didn't like that. I reloaded. Yeah, you need to turn around, grab. This is a ladder, and I fucked it up. So let's try this again. Bit of an annoying secret. Okay, the ladder doesn't work, but I might still be able to grab if I get exactly in the right spot. Oh. It freezes for some reason here. Not sure exactly what I do to make it freeze, but sometimes it does. Okay, that's not good. One step down, maybe? Okay. Yeah, without this being a ladder, that doesn't work. I don't think. Because the slope above it is too close. Don't have enough room to actually jump and grab. So yeah, can't do that. Guess we're not getting that secret. I'm going to check if there's anything else in this area. So nice pixelated neon texture here. The light gradient really isn't getting any favors from the texture compression here. Jesus, ouch. That's kinda bad. What does it look like in final? Is it the same texture in final? Tower.psx. Lutz Gate is also a level that has seen a lot of different iterations. Like, a lot. Oh, you have 2 secrets. Or they were at least thinking about 2 secrets. There's one here where you're supposed to grab the ladder that doesn't work right now, and you have a rocket launcher here. And there's another one that could have grabbed, where it's just a backflip where you have to backflip far enough to hit the Uzis. And that one I probably would have been able to grab it. Interesting. I think there's only one of those 2 in final. Oh no, you do have both, but only one of those 2 is a secret. This one gives you a shotgun and a save crystal. Interesting. Alright, so this is as final. As far as I can tell. Oh, I just noticed. This is final. This is the only place where you have a spike wall that is not actually double-sided. Huh. All the other spike walls in Tomb Raider 3 are double-sided. This one is not. This is Tomb Raider 2 style spike wall. Interesting, never paid attention to that. Same one you have in this version we're playing. Okay, back to the game. Oh yeah, I wanted to check the texture. Is the texture quite as unfortunate in final? Up here. Kinda. Yeah, it looks like they recompressed it a bit in final. Or it might be the PC version, I don't know. You'll notice there's more variation on the ladder as well. Variation of texture on the ladder. In final. Yeah, I would say it's not quite as bad in final. Anyway. Camera angle. And this is where you couldn't progress in the previous versions. No, this is later, you couldn't progress in the... Oh, he doesn't see me. I think he sees you immediately in final. Wrong texture for the block here. Previous version I played of this, we didn't have the glass here, so you could just walk into the weird instruments here. Right. I need to push the block one more. It doesn't shake like that in final. I want to check if that breaks. But you do hear a sound saying that this flip map is happening, the blocks are moving. Missing a music cue here, I believe. Right, this is where you got soft locked, because you push this, that triggers a flip map, and you get in a crawling space here, and you couldn't get out because of the crouching bug. So now we can, and now we can progress. Right. There's a switch somewhere? Oh, am I crazy? Don't tell me this switch doesn't exist when the room is flipped. Because that would be a problem. I need to close the door I just went through so I can climb the ladder. But I can't do that if we don't have this. Oh, it is. It is here, it's just a button. It is a proper switch in final, which is a lot more visible than this button as well. Like, I'm actually going to show that. This room. We're talking about this button here, which is a proper and actually unique switch here, which is a lot more visible. Right, so that closes this door, so now we can climb. Just noticed Lara doesn't have a shadow. That looks like a bug. Oh, we're missing the opening of this. There is a way back through here, right? This allows you to reset the flip map if you want to, I think. What does this serve? Yeah, this leads you back here. Okay. Right, I need to take this monkey bar under me. That's what I missed. It's been a while since I played this the way it is intended. I missed that. Here and here. And we have another switch here. There we go. In Final, you can actually climb... yeah, there we go. Do exactly what I just did, so you still can. Which I'm pretty sure is not intended, but that works. I'll take it. Saves me the trouble of climbing the ladder again. This one is annoying. You can just backflip this, right? Yeah. Right, so this is where the game branches. Well, the level branches. Where either you go downstairs and do not give the... whatever this is to the punks. I'm going to change slots. There we go. We're going to play both. We're going to play the short way first, which is going down here. Not like this. I think you can get on one of those slopes and grab an item in Final. Right. So you go over here. They give you harpoons here in Final, that's missing. Yeah, that's a return... Oh, yeah, that's a return path from the caves. So it links back here anyway. Regardless of which path you take. This links back here in Final. In Final as well. Get here. Yeah, there's a switch here, which is a bit hard to see. That's this trapdoor. A lot of fixed camera angles here. And then you go here and you get to the main room. Again, lots of iteration of this. Previous version of this, you actually had an opening here. And you came from here. Instead of coming from where I just did. So we're going to reload. We're going to do the long way because we've already joined up at this point. We're going to do the long way that goes through the caves. Yeah, missing a level item preview here, clearly. Embalming fluid. So we're going to go back through the museum. Should be a dude here. Right. I think this is all final, aside maybe from some items. Hello. Right, so here we are above the Sphinx. We have a monkey bars to go across so we can land on the head of the Sphinx. Of course, there is no giant Sphinx in the British Museum. At least I would sure hope so. But yeah. There's a save crystal here in final, I believe. From here you should be able to just jump here. Top of the Sphinx. There are windows on the side in final, isn't there? This is more opened up, I think. Or is that just something they changed in the remaster, maybe? No, it seems to be the same. We're missing a safe crystal on the side here. There's a step here, but we're missing the rocket launcher. Right. Don't think you can do much else here anyway. Oh, we're missing this platform on the side that would allow you to get to this crystal and this secret. So since that platform is not here, you just can't go to this area anyway. Right. Makes sense. Plop, plop. Supposed to be a secret trigger here. Music trigger here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're missing the item here. Yeah, can't do anything with this. Am I soft locked if I fall here, actually? Although I can probably try to jump on this slope and go all the way down. Don't know if we can do that without dying. Kinda. I'll take it. It's not the dev intended. You're supposed to go on the back of the Sphinx. But yeah, I'll take it. There should be guards here, but I'm not sure the triggers are working. No, please. Because I don't think I have a trigger. I have a save before I fall anyway, so can't really go back. Yep. So I have to kind of cheat the way I did here. By doing a backflip on the slope. Not sure how you get out of here if you go grab the rocket launcher. Oh, you can climb back on the side here. Okay. Right. Should be able to climb back on the back, actually. Maybe? Because you can climb here. But that doesn't help you get on this side. Because it's on the other side that you can climb. The bottom of this Sphinx, and with the opening in the middle here, and the block missing on the side here, are copy-pasted from Tomb Raider 1, I believe. The big Sphinx in Sanctuary of the Scion. Actually, the geometry looks very similar. Might be just directly copy-pasted. Alright, let's just leave this place. So I don't expect we're going to have much surprise with this puzzle. Ah, please. Where we use this block as a ladder in order to go behind it. Well, except Lara. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, this is bugging a little bit, but it still works. So that way you can go here, you can push this guy. What you cooking? What's on the menu? I'm actually hungry. Should be able to pull this twice and then go around again. And this should lead you back to the beginning where you can give those guys the embalming fluid. As final as far as I can tell. Right. Gets you back here. Put the fluid here. Noodles with mushroom cream sauce with herbs and nutmeg. Very nice. Bon appetit. Right, and this is going to lead you to the cave section. Okay, so we don't have a weapon on this. Okay, several things to note here. First of all, the UPV works, but it does not fire harpoons. Second, no enemies, no crocodiles in this version, as far as I can tell. Third, we still have the stalactites and stalagmites models that you can see here, which are a remnant of when this level was supposed to have a lot more underwater cave. It was supposed to be all underwater cave. They toyed around with that idea for a long time. They moved the cave parts around, as in, if I go back here, this entire puzzle area you've got here was supposed to be a cave. And now the cave is this area. Oh. Oh. Okay, they kept the... I'm going to have to load the previous version of this so you have an idea of the development process here. Okay, let's go back to the very first version of this, because this is very interesting. There's a lot of interesting iterations they went through here. Tower.psx. This is the early version of this we have. And it was going to be all underwater cave, basically. I assume this starting area is the early version of... It was untextured, but the early version of the main room here. This thing. This thing here. Kinda. You did not have the UPV yet, but you had all the underwater part with the stalactites and stalagmite. It was all cave. And it went a lot longer. There was not really any definite end level, probably maybe here, but it was an early proof of concept. Then we had this version where the cave ends up being after the main room. That's the main room here. You had this long tunnel and you end up with this cave section, which we find again, which leads then to the two climbing section that leads to the tower. And the interesting part is you have the ID that we have in Final of this second UPV being hidden behind a wall with a flip map in case you don't get the first one. They had this ID this early. We are in, what is the date here? Early October, 05 October. This ID you have here where you either get this UPV here, or if you didn't get the secret, they toggle a flip map here, so you get this one. This one is hidden if you get the first one, in order to not confuse people with two UPVs. I'm not sure if the game can even handle having two UPVs interact with each other. But yeah, they already had this idea of hiding the second UPV behind the wall here. And yeah, you had this on this cave section. There was no puzzle, it was just you went through the cave. And there was current here. I managed to play this earlier. The UPV is the little underwater vehicle. Underwater personal vehicle, I think, is the thing. It's called a UPV in the game files. You just grab this and it's a little propeller that lets you go forward faster, basically. And you have this little sign that says Loot's Gate, which I have no idea what this was supposed to be. But yeah, you had this whole underwater cave section, and instead of where the cave is in Final, you had this maze here. This underwater maze, which is like a construct, like this is clearly human built. And you have those sarcophagus that are listed in by the engine as breakable windows. Which makes me think that you can maybe run through them with the UPV. There were doors and stuff like that, so you had a whole puzzle here in this area, which is now the cave area instead. And again, that's a part of the level that used to be in All Hallows instead. You can find this area in early version of All Hallows, and it has been moved to Loot's Gate, and then it was turned around into the puzzle we have in Final here instead, with the gates and the switches. Right. Version following this. At this point, they switch it around. So now we have the cave in the place it is in Final. And you have the puzzles here, as you have in Final. Except clearly this part was not ready because this is actually blocked by a wall and you couldn't go there. Probably because they wanted to demonstrate the parts that are working and not the parts that aren't working. But yeah. And yeah, we already had those sarcophagus. We see those breakable window as they are listed, sarcophagus here. In this section, the cave section, as we have in the version we're playing as well. So I want to see if the UPV breaks through those. How was it supposed to work? I'm not sure. Since the UPV doesn't fire harpoons in this version. Let me reload the version we're playing. Tower. There we go. So yeah, if you look at final here, we do not have all the stalactite and stalagmite models that you see here. All those meshes here. If I activate the bounds, you can see all those models here. So those models date back to the very early versions, the very first versions of this. And in final, they removed them, probably because it doesn't play too well with the UPV in terms of collision. And yeah, they're not that pretty either. And probably doesn't help the polycounts. So I probably just decided to remove all of that. Scrap that idea. So we do not have those sarcophagus here in final. They also decided to scrap that idea, so I want to see if that ever worked or not. So let's get back to the game. Yeah, the UPV actually also has an animation for hitting walls. They removed that in final. So can I just... Okay, I can just go through it. Can I get air, please? Probably need to leave the UPV. I don't think there's enough room. The back of the sarcophagus is not modeled, so that's also funny. Can I shoot that? Yes! So they were supposed to be breakable. Also, nice shotgun model for the harpoons. So you were supposed to break them with the harpoon guns. Okay. More harpoons here. So that's how that was going to play. Okay. That's kind of an interesting idea, and I don't think I've seen anyone replicate that in a TRE. Which, well, is not exactly surprising because most TREs are Tomb Raider 4 engine, and you don't have the harpoon gun in Tomb Raider 4 engine. So you would need to have that in an engine that actually has a harpoon gun, which would be Tomb Raider 2 or Tomb Raider 3. Well, a bit boring that they just give you harpoons behind every... breakable sarcophagus, but... why did he grab this one? Right, so this is how this was gonna play out. Yeah, it does have a proper braking animation and all. We did on this one. Oops. Okay, more harpoons. Pretty sure they're there at placeholder at this point. Nothing else. So we can just take that current here, which leads us back here, and here we join up with the other path we were on earlier. Don't think there's really any point in playing the rest of this level, since it was already working in the previous version. It seems to be mostly as final. The puzzle here is identical. All of this Well, we couldn't finish it last time because we couldn't get out of this crawl space. But as far as I can tell, this is final anyway. They scrapped this boiler model in final. This thing here. But yeah, this area is the same as final. I don't think there's much reason to play this. Pulsating light. Yeah. You end up in this elevator shaft. Which again, the elevator shaft you have here is, I think, also a remnant of something they wanted to put in All Hallows, where you have a kind of elevator section like this at the beginning of the level. Well, outside of the level boundary, but you can see it in your view. Right, next level is City. No, City is Tinos. Next level is it's not roofs. Trying to find the office.psx, right. The boss fight. So we still have this antechamber here. There's even a door, which probably closes behind you. Yeah, it closes behind you. What's this texture here? Okay, so as far as I can tell, this is the same as the previous one. The electric box is on the other side, as it was the last time we played. As opposed to Final Ways, it's on this side of the bridge. And every time in every version of this we played where we shot the electric box in order to kill Sophia, it just crashed the game. So let's see if it works in this version. Do we have a functioning boss fight? Sophia herself is working. The shield, the attacks, the animation, the climbing, all the pathing, all of that works. It's been working for a while. It didn't work on the very first versions, but it's been working for a while. The one part that's not working is Sophia's death. Do we have the fishes? We are missing the fishes. That's sad. Right, so this door should close behind me. There we go. Oh, I can test the secret now. I cannot do it like that. Pew! Please don't kill me. Oh, she's climbing. That interrupted her. Kinda. Let me check if the secret works. Is it just me or I have the Tomb Raider 2 shotgun model on my back here? Huh. So we have different shotgun models depending on which level we are on. That's interesting. It is working. Okay, so we can get to this area, but we are missing, like, there's no items. But that was going to be the secret. I'm just going to reload. Okay, they prevented you... Yeah, they fixed the fact that you could just climb on the other side instead of opening the trapdoor. So now you do have to open the trapdoor. Lara, please. There we go. passing. So yeah, there's a different texture. Maybe it was used as a marker for a trigger for testers. Who knows? Ooh. Zombie Lara, almost dead. Right, so let me get in this corner. I should be safe here. Kind of. Area of effect is still killing me. Okay, so I think I've hit the electric box here, and it's still crashing the game. So at this point, it's still not working. So they ended up moving the electric box on your side of the bridge simply because it's a lot easier when it's on your side to hit the box without Lara auto-targeting Sophia. Because that's kind of the problem we have here as well. It's a bit awkward to actually properly hit that box. Restart. Not this. Next. Next is going to be Nevada. I'm just going to check Nevada in TierraView, I think. The big thing that was missing in Nevada was the F117 flybys. PSX. Oh, they have them now. Look at that. Seems to be in different positions, question mark. Also, they're very untextured. So, kinda want to check that. No, that's actually the same place. And that might be the same model as well. Yeah, you have the little antenna. So it seems to be the same thing, yeah. Same model. Other thing to check is, do we have the secrets? We have the med pack here we were missing. We're just going to check that. They haven't fixed the block texture yet. And it is supposed to be the same texture as the walls. Yeah, we're just going to play this one. This room is ready. We still don't have the secret behind the waterfall here. What else did we have? And there was a secret... Yeah, they did have this. I think we were still missing that in the previous version of this. Anything else I particularly care about here? Oh yeah, there was a door model here. Ah, it's still here. This thing here. It's just for show, it's not animated. But you have a proper looking door here, which they removed in Final. I'm not sure why they decided to do that. It's a bit of a shame. Also, we still have the old model for the dam guards. Instead of having the biker look. Right. Mostly identical otherwise. I'm just going to check the flybys, I think. Oh, they removed the... We had a crate here we could use to block the boulder. They removed that because it's not really necessary. And it's probably a bit more dramatic to actually not having a way to block the boulder. You just have to get out of the way. So that was a thing that they removed. Set crystal. Yeah, I think it was missing last time. There were like pylons here that they also removed in this version. They were there in the previous version. So this is closer to final already. Yeah. Just check the flybys. Yep. I need to put the sound back again. There you go. It starts at 0 every time. For some reason. Yeah, you can see I have the proper shotgun model in this level. Go figure. Yep. We have the flyby. In Remastered, this plane actually like goes through the mountain because they added a bunch of mountain models here and they didn't check that the path of the stealth fighter actually goes through. So good job there. That's all I care for this level. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to check, I can check right now, is did they change the ladder textures? Yeah, they did. You had like iron bars on the walls instead of those more natural looking texture for the ladders that you have here, which are the same as Spinal. Right. That's pretty much all we care for this level. I think we're going to do high security compounds, see if they got closer to the final texture work for this. Plop. I am not. There we go. What time is it? Okay, so now we have the final textures. Right. You have the proper texture for the blocks as well, MG12. Of course I've got guns because this is the prototype version and they give you the guns. You're not supposed to have guns at this point. I don't think we have this block here in Final. This is clearly here to prevent you from shimmying. But I don't think we have that in Final. How is it called? Compound. This here, this thing here. Do we have that in Final? We do, I just never noticed. Okay, fair enough. I'm imagining things again, not the first time, not going to be the last. Okay, does this puzzle work properly now? Because for the longest time, the first trapdoor just collapsed when you walked on it. Okay, this is fixed. Also, the ladder didn't work properly. Oh, this is standable. Is this standable in Final? Am I also imagining things? Yeah, it is standable in Final. This was a slope in the previous versions. So you were kind of supposed to shimmy to the ladder. Now the ladder is working properly. Yeah, this is Final, as far as I can tell. We are very close. There was one more melee guard here that they removed. In the previous version there was one more guy. Okay, so it looks like they adjusted they adjusted the balance here. Previous version I played of this, the guard was killing all the prisoners. The pistol guard was killing all the prisoners. And I had to finish this guy off with the... Oh, nice model, by the way. I had to finish this guy off with the guns. Keycard tip A. This has a name. Look at that. This guy also drops a med pack in Final, I think. On top of the keycard. One thing I want to check is... Yeah, okay. So they fixed the cantina here, the mess room. It was bigger in this direction. Like there was another set of tables here behind where this wall is. In the previous version of this we played. We've got the block puzzle, final one, except this pipe is new. This pipe doesn't exist in final, so that probably makes the puzzle a bit different. A bit longer. Oh! The roof is lower. So we can do the skip. Because in final we can just jump on this and then into here. So they probably made the roof lower. Well, between this version and final they made the roof higher, so it would be easier to navigate around the blocks. You could go above the blocks. As a result, they also made this skip possible, which is not in this version, so they accidentally broke that. That's funny. This is too high up, fair enough. So we have to actually play this block puzzle as intended. And I probably never played this block puzzle as intended since 1998. You actually have to crouch under that as well to go around. I can understand why they removed the pipe, because that just makes everything longer, and block puzzles are not the most interesting form of gameplay ever, if you know what I mean. And yeah, it's a lot of back and forth just to move this block around. Do we have to do that? Can I not, like... push you this way? Oh, this is not a movable, that's why. Okay, that makes more sense. So you do have to move this one around. So yeah, push blocks are already boring as it is, but the fact that you have to go around all the time, crouch under the pipe, yeah, Makes for a nice set piece, but it does not make for amazing gameplay. Right, now you can do this. You can climb here. This room is very pink. It is also very pink in final. And now we can fill the room with water. Ah, please. I think they give you a camera hint in final that we're missing here. This door close over there. And this lets you go here. They removed the fans. We had fans here killing you with a proper slope and not just this half slope here. Should be able, as final, to just go down there and skip the fire. My side jumping here. Texture is wrong on the pots. It should be red inside those big ones, like it is on the casseroles. Anyway, reloading. I'm going to play this as intended. It's not very long. It's not a very long skip. Just go over here. Jump above the slopes. And press the button. There was, at some point in the room I am in, instead of the door, there was going to be another block puzzles. And the block puzzle was set up so that you could only do it from this side of the room. They decided to just cut that and put a door on the button instead. Which is fair enough. Everybody appreciates having fewer block puzzles to do. Also completely unnecessary because you can just climb back here and go the way I am going right now anyway. Missing a med pack here. Right, so now we're supposed to lead this guy to the prisoners. Hey! Well, the prisoners are already there. Hello. Okay. I feel like the prisoners are actually stronger than they are in finals. Also, in final there's only one MP dude here. Which is already less than there was in the previous version because there was 2 MP and a gun guy. Oh, well, he's still here. He's hiding in the corner. Okay. They cut those guys. There's only one melee guy here in final. Where did my melee guys go? Prisoners, please. I require assistance. Did you kill the prisoner? You killed the prisoner. Good job. Well, that's probably why they removed this guy. I'm just going to kill him now, but not supposed to have the guns to do that. So yeah, in final you still have this little corner here, but it's empty, and that is a good question to wonder why the hell is this here. And it is here because there was this guy at this point, which they eventually cut off. One of those little why does this exist, which is solved by looking at the previous versions. Okay. Oh, why is Lara moving on the side? Right, so this section worked last time. Wonder if they changed the model of the button. Wait. Okay. Okay, no, they didn't change the model of the button. Also, this is apparently a one-sided texture in this version. So that's a bit of a goof. Yeah, one-sided. There's a turret here. I think they removed that turret in... Oop. Now, please. In final. Can you please grab the top of the ladder so I don't have to climb the entire way, please? Thank you. Right, so now you have this guy, which we're just going to lead to more prisoners. As final. Please, thank you. All the texture work is final as far as I can tell. Get the card, which is apparently a pistol icon. Keycard type B, yeah. I wonder if they had to actually manually assign preview models or preview textures to all the items, and they were just afraid of missing any before the release, and they just decided to scrap the entire thing. There's only one turret here in final instead of those two. And you should still be able to jump above the lasers by doing a little bit of a corner jump here. Nope, now I turned before I could do it. It's a bit finicky. I'm also not good at games. Let's try this again. There we go. But normally you just do this. Where's the button? There it is. Activates lasers. Alright, so same deal here. Grab a couple prisoners. We can get the prisoners from the previous room. Previous one, not the previous version, but the one before that, I think. This second jail was actually here. So you had to open this door in order to get the prisoner from the previous section. This is a step in final instead of a slope. doesn't really change much, so I'm not sure why they changed it. Right. Yeah, Lara's butt, again, model 0. Yellow security pass. We are missing the SAM launcher here. There's a missile launcher model with a funky animation here in Final. F117. Just for the looks. Right, so this section is the same as the previous version we played, where we just have to go through the turret. Also, the turret has a firing sound, which it doesn't have in Final, I just noticed. So that's something they broke at some point. You have this nice little section where you crawl around and then you trigger a death laser to kill a guy in Final, which clearly does not exist yet. Can we not? Guess the platform is not lined up. I never paid attention because I usually skip at this point. You can just drop on the slopes at the bottom of the tower with a fake grab and skip this entire section. A couple versions before, this button we see here was actually stuck behind this console, so you couldn't access it, which was a soft lock. Right. Do we have the propeller inside this hole? Because there's a propeller that you're supposed to open a door, well, close a door in front of it in order to progress. It looks like we do have that right now, yeah. Okay, so it's that's Final. Previous version, or maybe a couple versions before, there was just a trapdoor on top of the hole and you couldn't progress. Can I please get out of here? I am trying to go over here. Thank you. I'm doing this in the wrong order, aren't I? I need to do this first. So as far as I can tell, aside from some enemies that decided to cut in Final, we're really close. I hate those half-tile. They are the worst. And now I'm being hit by current again. Alright, so we have the weird circuit board crawling space, which makes 0 sense. As they do in Final. So this should give me a switch to open the door. There we go. Don't know if I'm going to play the rest of the level. This is going to be mostly the same. One thing I want to double check is... Where are we? We are down here. Right. One thing I want to double check is, yeah. So we have the crawling space. That was already the previous version. We're still missing the secret here, as in coming back to kill this guard in order to, once you've got the weapons, in order to grab this. So that's missing. What else? Is this secret board in final? I'm not sure it is. No, it's... Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Right. Other thing I wanted to check... They still give you a grenade launcher here. They remove that in final. They just give you, well, which is already a lot, the Desert Eagle here. So doggos are there. We have the camera section here for this animation, which I don't think we did last time. This guy has the blue thingy, blue plug. Seems to be as final up here. No big surprise. I don't think this guy exists in final. This courtyard seems to be as final as well. We're missing a pushing block here with an item, as well as the hole here. They've put more items in this final room here. But otherwise... Oh, there's two dudes here as well. So they definitely cut a bunch of enemies in final compared to those early versions. There was going to be more enemies here. Definitely. It's not the first place, and there's already fewer enemies now than there was in the previous version of this I played. Right. Don't think there's much else to see. We're probably going to stop it here. I'm going to have a quick look at Area 51. But Area 51 is pretty much complete at this point as well. So we have the starting point in the back of the truck instead of being in a jail cell. We have the proper icon for this instead of saying armory. Give you the MP5 here. Still the old model on the prisoner instead of the new one. Yeah, still a second set of pistols here that dates back from when this level was going to be the one where you lose your weapons. They do put the new model for the hand scanner. We didn't have that last time we played this. Missing the secret here. Again, new model of the hand scanner. Missing the little corner with the grenade launcher here. You go downstairs here. We have a safe crystal here in final, I believe. Go downstairs. There's a lot of intersection in this level, which is a bit surprising because they kind of try to avoid that usually. Got this section here. Climb around here. Where are we? Get up here, get up here. I'm just going to add depths because I can't see shit, Captain. There we go. This area. Still missing the secret behind here. So go over here. Need to add a bit of depth here. Seems to be as expected. They still haven't textured this room, so that's still missing. And it looks like, oh no, they've added this room now. Okay. With the killer whale. Okay, so they've started moving the killer whale here, getting this room in working order. With the alien behind here as well. So I think if you pay attention to this room, which is where inside the UFO where you end up, you have one alien, two aliens here, and you are missing two on the sides. And you have that one alien here, which they're opening up. And you have this alien here in this room. So that is the total of 4 aliens, with the 2 missing from the UFO being outside, here and here. So that is all aliens accounted for. I'd never paid attention to that, but you are missing 2 aliens inside. And they are supposed to be here. So this is actually as expected. Right. So if you have the killer whales here, that means in this hangar, if I can look properly, we should have I need more depth, I can see shit. There's so much intersecting stuff here. We should have the door that leads there. Or do we? Is that something they added later? Actually, it might be something they added later. Which means that the whales are just there for... just there for show and is not actually... Yeah, there's no opening. You can't actually get inside where the whales are. So they added that in bits and pieces. We have the deagle ammo here. But yeah, you can't actually get inside the water container here. Interesting. Right, that's probably all we care about here. The rest should be as intended. The real question is probably, does picking up the item here end the level? And I would assume it does, because it did for the other 2 artifacts we picked up, so I assume this is working now. Don't think there's any point in playing this, aside from seeing the whales, I guess. Going to stop it here for today, so I guess we're going to do Antarctica next time. And there is one more version after this, which I assume is going to go pretty fast, because it should be really, really close to final. There shouldn't be much else to see. We might just skim through it with TR view. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I think after this, not sure I play next week, by the way, but we'll see. Next stream of this, we're going to finish Tomb Raider 3 prototypes, and after that, I think we're going to get started on... we're going to get back to some TRLs as a break before we go to the Tomb Raider 4 prototypes. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a nice one and see you next time. Take care.